Have you ever checked into a hotel and felt like you weren't entirely alone? Today's story takes that feeling to a whole new level. It's a tale that blurs the line between a simple mistake and something far more chilling. So, turn down the lights, get comfortable, and let's dive into the mystery of room 517. Our story comes from a traveler staying in Bangkok. Let's call him Mark. After a long day of exploring the vibrant city, Mark was back in his room, number 512, getting ready to wind down for the night. It was late, well past midnight, and the hotel was quiet. Suddenly, the phone rang, startling him. He picked it up. It was the front desk. The voice on the other end was polite but firm. "Sir, we've received a noise complaint. Could you please lower your voice in room 517? Mark was confused. He chuckled and replied, "I think you have the wrong room. I'm in 512, and I haven't made a sound." The receptionist apologized for the mix-up, and Mark hung up, thinking it was just a simple clerical error, a minor inconvenience, nothing more. He was wrong. Just a few minutes later, there was a sharp, authoritative knock on his door. He opened it to find two hotel security guards. They looked serious. One of them asked, "Sir, are you Mr. Mark Smith?" He confirmed he was. The guard continued, "We need to talk to you about the disturbance coming from room 517. Mark was getting annoyed now. "Look," he said, "I just told the front desk. I'm in 512. I have nothing to do with 517. But the guards were insistent. They explained that the guest registered to room 517 was, in fact, him. They asked to see his passport to verify. Reluctantly, Mark handed it over. The guards radioed the front desk, confirming the details. The name on the registration for room 517 was his. The passport number matched perfectly. Even the check-in time was identical, down to the exact minute he had arrived at the hotel earlier that day. A cold dread started to creep up Mark's spine. This was no longer a simple mistake. How could he be registered to two different rooms at the same time? He tried to reason with the guards. "This is impossible. My key card only works for this room, 512. I've never been near 517. The security team seemed just as baffled. The lead guard decided they needed more information. He got on the radio and requested the duty manager to meet them and to bring the security footage from the main elevator. While they waited, the hallway felt unusually cold and silent. Mark's mind was racing. Was this some elaborate prank, a serious data breach, or something else entirely? The rational explanations were starting to feel less and less plausible. The manager arrived, a look of concern on his face. He assured Mark they would get to the bottom of this. They all gathered around a small tablet to review the CCTV footage. They found the clip of Mark arriving at the hotel. There he was, clear as day, walking to the elevator with his luggage. He steps inside. The doors close. The camera inside the elevator shows him pressing the button for the 5th floor. The floor indicator lights up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then something strange happens. The indicator completely skips 5. It flickers for a second and then lights up on 1 again as the doors open back in the lobby. They played it back again and again. The footage was seamless. There was no glitch, no jump cut. It just happened. The elevator, for no apparent reason, never went to the 5th floor in that clip. It was as if that part of his journey had been erased. But that was impossible. He was standing right there, on the 5th floor. How did he get there, if the elevator never took him? The manager looked pale. He turned to Mark and said, "Sir, I have no explanation for this." The security guards were murmuring to each other, their professional composure clearly shaken. By this point, Mark wasn't just confused. He was genuinely scared. He felt a desperate need to prove he wasn't crazy. "Let's go to room 517, he insisted. "Let's open the door. You'll see it's empty, or someone else is in there. It has to be." The manager agreed. It was the only logical next step. The small group walked down the long, silent corridor, their footsteps echoing unnervingly. They stopped in front of the door to room 517. It looked just like any other door, but it felt heavy with unspoken secrets. The manager took out his master key card. He swiped it. The light turned green. He took a deep breath, turned the handle, and pushed the door open. The room was dark. The manager fumbled for the light switch just inside the door and flicked it on. The room was immaculate. The bed was perfectly made. Not a single crease in the duvet. The pillows were fluffed and arranged just so. The towels in the bathroom were folded. It was a room that had been cleaned and prepared, but it was completely, undeniably empty. There was no luggage, no sign of anyone having been there at all. Everyone let out a collective sigh of relief, but the feeling was short-lived. As they stood in the doorway, a faint, muffled, ringing sound started. They all froze, listening. Where was it coming from? The sound led them to the bedside table. Lying there was the room's telephone. The screen was lit up, displaying a missed call. The manager picked it up to check the caller ID. His eyes went wide. He slowly turned the phone around for Mark and the guards to see. The missed call was from room 512, Mark's room. A wave of pure terror washed over Mark. He backed out of the room slowly. The phone call he had received from the front desk. The complaint about noise from room 517. It wasn't a mistake. Someone or something had been in that room, and they had been using his identity. Who made that noise complaint? If the room was empty, who was the front desk talking to? The timeline just didn't make sense. The call to the front desk, complaining about the noise. Then the front desk calling Mark's room, 512, thinking he was in 517. It was a confusing, terrifying loop. Had his doppelganger checked in? A ghost, a glitch in reality itself. The hotel staff had no answers. They offered to move him to a different room on a different floor, which he accepted immediately. He barely slept that night, jumping at every little sound. He checked out first thing the next morning and never looked back. This story leaves us with so many unanswered questions. Was it a sophisticated scam that went wrong? A paranormal event? A bizarre confluence of technical glitches and human error? The clean room? The identical check-in details? The impossible elevator footage? and that final chilling missed call from his own room. It all points to something deeply unsettling. It's a reminder that sometimes the most terrifying things aren't the monsters we can see, but the questions we can never answer. The unexplained voids in reality that make us question everything we think we know. What do you think happened in that Bangkok hotel? Have you ever had a strange, unexplainable experience while traveling? Let me know your theories and your own spooky stories in the comments below. I read every single one. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next story. Stay safe out there.